So riddle me this, why on earth would you put a phone here when you could put a phone here? I've got some answers. Hi folks, it's the middle of winter here in the UK and I'm sat outside here in the cold for your benefit. Well, you know, I'm kind of sat in the car which is heated, but it's still cold outside, look. Anyway, I'm out here suffering on your behalf to answer a really important question. Why on earth would you put a car mount in a modern car like this? Especially this car, the Tesla Model 3, which comes with its very own handy wireless charging dock. Well, I've got 3 reasons which I think make a lot of sense, but before we get into those reasons, let's have a look at what we're going to be testing with. So this is the wireless car mount 2.0 from CARMOUNT. Nice and easy to remember that one. And here's what comes in the box. So we've got a wireless head, which is magnetic. There's a Type-C to Type-A cable. There's a suction cup base, an air vent holder, a dashboard holder, and a suction cup holder. Quite a bit then. So this essentially means that whatever vehicle you're driving, you've got every conceivable option to fix this to the inside of your car. Now this car mount does offer 15-watt charging via the included cable, which is USB Type-C to USB-A. So if, like me, you've got a car that supports USB-C ports, you're going to want to make sure you've got a dual end USB-C to USB-C cable, unlike this one, which I don't think is going to work with this car, but that's okay. We've got some options here. Likewise, you might want an adapter if you're using a 12-volt socket in your car, or if you're lucky enough to have a USB-A cable, you're going to be absolutely fine because that's all included in the box. So as we can see here, the Tesla screen takes up quite a bit of space, so I'm going to try out all of these different holders just to see which one looks best and works best for me. So here's the air vent holder over here on the right. Now, I quite like this, although it is a bit of a faff to get into the dashboard and the air vent on this Tesla. It would work really well if you've got a kind of car that's got those little foldable air vents. There's a suction cup holder which can go either on the window like this, or it can go on the dashboard using the dashboard holder, or you've got the smaller dashboard holder which goes on this little strip. Now it works really well if you've got a nice flat surface and a nice clean surface. It's quite difficult to install on the Tesla here because it's the sort of soft touch surface or the wood, both of which are curved. So just check out which one works for you. There's plenty of options here. I actually tried this one on the windscreen and it worked really well. Now, as promised, why on earth would you put a phone here when you could put one here? And obviously here I'm referencing a Tesla Model 3, but all of my reasons I think would apply to any car that have multimedia displays included. Reason number 1. Now I do like all of this information on this enormous screen, but it is also limited for a variety of reasons. So for example, Tesla use semi-live Google Maps for its sat-nav. And this is fine, but it's the only choice you get. There are, of course, many other maps available. For example, I really like a better route planner, which is great for planning in charge stops on a long trip, far better than Tesla's own mapping and charge stop planning. And there's also Apple Maps, which has come on leaps and bounds since it was first launched. So if you're not up for taking the Google route, a car mount has got you covered because you can pretty much use any mapping app you've got on your phone. Hey presto. And that brings us on to reason number 2, freeing up space on your screen. And another limitation of this massive screen is that you can't really configure it in lots of different ways. So you can basically have one thing on this section of the screen at any one point. You've got maps, media or trip info, and that's about it. So I'm a bit of a geek about the data and I quite like having the energy chart on screen, especially when we're on a longer trip. And having the car mount running basically gives me this extra screen to use for whatever I want, whether it's maps or calls, or in my case, filming myself occasionally whilst I'm driving the car. And on to reason number 3. So whilst it is really handy having this wireless charging dock right there built into the center console, once your phone is lodged away and charging, you can't really see the screen, which partly is a good thing because no one should be fiddling around with their phone or their screen whilst they're driving, but your entertainment options in the car while driving are quite limited. So you've got digital radio, Spotify, or Bluetooth. And the Bluetooth, of course, just streams whatever's playing on your phone. And that final option is a bit flawed because maybe you're listening to something on Apple Music, or maybe you're listening to an audiobook on Audible, or pretty much anything that's not Spotify. And if you want to control playback with any kind of granularity, you are going to need to reach down and touch your phone, which is a bit of a problem, unless you're using a mount. And as we can see here, I've got easy access to switch apps, or use the advanced button if I need to skip forward or back. So those were just 3 reasons I thought of. Maybe you've got some more too. Let me know down in the comments if you happen to use a car mount or car charger in your car, particularly particularly if your car's already got some sort of wireless charging built in. So if you're interested in picking up one of these mounts for yourself, this particular pack with all of the different options in retails at $59.99 sterling or $49.99 US, although they do often run periodical sales and offers. If you want to check them out, they're linked in the description below. And yes, whilst this is designed for MagSafe Apple devices, they do also sell a little adapter that lets you use this with Samsung or Google phones too. Pretty cool, and also free shipping. And a big thanks to the CARMOUNT team for sponsoring the channel this week. And so folks, I hope you find this one helpful. If you did, do let me know with a like, and if you'd like to see more like this, maybe even a cheeky subscribe. There will be a whole playlist full of Tesla and generally electric transport type content popping up, so if that's your thing, do stay on and you'll see some more from me. Anyway, I'll see you next time.